I do want to speak real quickly on something, and this is something I've been thinking about the past day or so, and since I posted that video in Discord about like the abortion issue. I don't, and this, it's such a touchy subject, and I'm sure on some level I'll get some shit for it, but as someone who has had a second trimester baby, and I mean, he's a beautiful, healthy kid. I have a hard time getting behind the in support. Like, I just find myself in this weird predicament where I want people to have the right to choose. And I also want people to save the lives of growing human beings, because that's what they are. From the day that a child is conceived, in my mind, that is the potential for human life. It is human life. And by the second trimester, you have like a pretty much a fully realized human. And it's something that people just don't take serious enough. And I don't think they realize what they're advocating for when they're advocating for it. And that is something that bothers me. The video that I posted and that's going around, it's alarming to say the least. And I'll try and post a little sample of this when I edit it. But we really have to be careful, because there's a lot of nuance involved with it. And I think I'm of the opinion that safe, legal, and rare is the way to go with abortion. It should be safely done. It should be rarely done. And obviously it should be illegal to be able to do. But again, there's a very, very small window where I feel it is acceptable. And I think there's a few circumstances that it should be okay. There are the rare occasions where people are victims of rape. There are victims of incest. Those are awful things. And in that situation, one might not want to carry that person or, that baby to term. But there's a very, very small window. And I would say that if that ever happened to someone, like immediately, like as a precaution, like go and deal with it. Because that is an awful circumstance and not something I wish on anyone or want from anyone. But when you start talking about abortions post like 8, 9, 10 weeks, you're getting into a really sticky situation where this person inside of you is a person, and they have a heartbeat, and they are becoming their own individual. One that kicks, one that hiccups, one that moves around and can be felt. And when people advocate for abortions after that point, it just becomes alarming. I don't think they understand what they're advocating for. And parents like myself who have witnessed children born in the second trimester when they're literally at like a little bit bigger than your hand. This child has a face, it has eyes, it has arms and legs and little fingers and a little bum and little everything. And it's something that it can't be understated. This is a person. I have a child in daycare right now who talks to me, walks around, has his own thoughts, has his own loves and dislikes, and has temper tantrums and laughs and cries. And that wouldn't have been possible, if we had decided, because everything was going wrong, that we were going to end the pregnancy. And people do this not just in the second trimester. People do this in the third trimester when it's an actual, like, real child. As a society, we have to do better. And this goes back to something like we have to be able to teach kids the value of life early on, treating people good early on. And there's going to be people that do abhorrent things and really awful things. Luckily, it is not that often, but we shouldn't be so willy-nilly about sexual activity. And I was irresponsible in the past, and but I wish I had not been. I wish there was a couple times that I wish I'd been way more conscious of what I was doing. And, you know, I that's the better route to take. And like I've said 1,000 times, we as a society just need to slow down. We want things so quickly and so rapidly, but we're not willing to put in the time to actually fix it. People are waiting on politicians to come up with these broad sweeping policies, laws that are going to protect people. The best way you could protect yourself right now is to just be smart, to choose your partner wisely, to not be so frivolous with your body and treating it like a toilet, and to just be an all-around good person. Remember that your actions affect others. When people say my body, my choice, sure, but guess what? There's another body inside your body. And I'm sorry if you're having trouble wrapping your head around that. And I don't mean to be inflammatory necessarily, but that is a different body that's not yours. It's independent of yours. It is dependent on you eating and protecting it, but it is not yours. It is someone else's. It's actually the combination of yours and your partner's. So, you know, there's an important distinction to make there. And people, again, are so willy-nilly about it. You have weirdos that are taking abortion pills on the steps of some monument somewhere, and you're just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's probably the most unhealthy thing you could possibly do. But remember, you're dealing with another life. You're dealing with your DNA and your partner's DNA combined to make a brand spanking new human that will one day laugh and cry right alongside of you. That's all I got.